Willow Smith never saw this coming from men. Video by O'Shea Duke Jackson. You guys, so let me just give you a quick summary on what is going on. Basically, Willow Smith came out and she said nobody has asked her out on a date or something like that, and she's like, oh, guys don't ask girls on dates anymore, blah, 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 blah. You guys, I feel like in 2025, if you are a guy, and even if you're a woman, it does feel like dating or just getting to know someone, sometimes it feels like a humiliation ritual. So I understand where people are coming from, but I also get where Willow Smith is coming from too. Like, it would be nice to be able to go out on dates like how people used to. But anyways, you guys, let's get into the video.
Wondering why men don't approach you and don't say hi anymore?
By the time the mid 90s came around, your boy was trying to holler at females in the mall, although unsuccessfully. Sometimes I got numbers, usually they was wrong, but hey, I still lived for another day. Going out to the clubs, going out to the Alpha Zone or to the Rage, clubs in Sacramento, that's how I was trying to get it in. And of course, women were not always receptive to you. Women were mean, even back then. And that is still the same case now for guys who have stopped approaching women.
It's not that men are scared to approach women. Like, men aren't scared. Like, men aren't approaching women no more because a lot of women are very unfriendly, are very unwelcoming. A lot of women are very rude, very disrespectful, very mean. Literally just because you're a man. Fine or not fine, it does not make a difference, I promise you. Some women will literally treat you like you are beneath them. They will be very egotistical and treat you like you are less than them.
Yeah, women treat you better when you don't approach them and when you don't talk to them, because you're not even talking to them, like, regardless, sure.
Now, this young
You're better off, like, how do I put this, bro? I don't see the point in approaching women anymore. Me personally, I think that it's actually just best to, like, live your life, and the women that like you know, entertain those ones, because they're always going to treat you better anyways, But when you go out of your way to try and get a girl, uh, it's I don't know how to explain it to you, like, and if you're a guy watching this, you get what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying. It's just not the most pleasant experience. More times than not, you already know what's going to happen, like, in my personal dating experience, the times that I had the best, the most fun and the best experiences was when the girl liked me first, when the girl was into me first, when she was the one eyeing me first, but more times than not, when I go for the ones that I want, it doesn't end up being good. Some people might say that that's a skill issue, and maybe it is, but hey, let's keep going. Let's keep watching the video.
man is saying something that a lot of men are thinking. Women are just too mean or too rude or basically act like you're doing them a favor by coming up to them. Guys were more willing to overcome rejection in my time, but like I said, now you have Facebook dating, Tinder, other kind of apps. So men these days have alternative options. And so now women are concerned.
There's a TikToker guy that explained it in a different sense. He's a tall, strong black man. He was saying that he doesn't go up to women anymore because women, we are typically concerned about our safety. We don't want to be approached because we don't really know what you want. Just all in all, we're on a defense because we don't know if it's a threat or not. There's so much going on in the world. And so for that perspective, I kind of get it.
That makes sense too, like, the world is a dangerous place. Like, when you open social media, like, you see a lot of stories and news headlines of men actually killing women, so we actually do understand that, like, yeah, like, women, like, the wide majority of women, well, maybe not the wide majority, but then some women don't feel safe when some guys approach them, you know especially like where are most people making approaches, the club, maybe school, like, so like we guys know that, some girls feel like like weird, you know. And also with the rise of like women hating men, that's another thing too. Like that's another thing that has us like, like, let me not go and approach, let me respect myself and respect her. Guys aren't approaching women because you'd be surprised, a lot of guys actually do respect women and we want them to be safe and comfortable.
This young lady says she understands why men don't want to approach women. But then she turns around and says this.
I still think the attempt should be out there, and perhaps men can do a better job at showing themselves to be safe, being more mindful of how they're approaching the certain language that they use. But ultimately, like, I don't know exactly how that feels to do something like that because I'm not a black man. As a black woman, it kind of sucks because it's like, yeah, we want y'all to approach us though, and we want to be safe. Huh?
Wait a minute. You want men to approach you while trying to be safe and trying to figure out how to do it? Like, it's just too much work in today's age. And this is the dilemma.
Yeah, and I'll just keep on saying it. I'm probably going to say this like multiple times throughout this video. Depending, like as a guy, bro, I think you're just meant to work on yourself. Work on yourself to the best of your ability. Be it your physique, how you look, your face, your finances. Work on all of that, and then from the girls that come to you, the girls that find you attractive, pick the best one. Because you going out to chase a girl, and my last video was literally don't chase women. Just, it's like it's not a good feeling chasing anybody, Just pick the ones that like you, bro. You end up having a way nicer experience.
Women want men to approach them, but then at the same time, deal with women being caught off guard. And for a lot of men, this is like a gray area in which they just don't want to deal with. But this is not just regular women that have these.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
These problems. It's superstars that have these problems. Fast forward. Willow Smith has turned out to be a real cutie. I'm not gonna lie. If you look at her in this B-roll, this lady is fine.
Yeah, she's in the video where she was saying guys don't approach her. I don't think that she looked that good. But then does she look good here? Yes, she looks like a fine young woman.
She was like a little tomboy, but the way she's looking here at the Dior fashion show in Paris, this lady is fun.
Yeah, she looks fine. I'm not even gonna cap. She does look fine here.
Willow Smith is a
wow. Oh my goodness. You guys, I'm gonna have to take back what I said. And me, typically, I don't like dreads, but then does she look good? Yeah, she does.
D on my mama.
He's right,
And when you look at Willow Smith, she has all the opportunities. Like, she's beautiful, she's rich, she can date white men.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what it says. Me personally, I don't like lip piercings. This was what threw me off. I don't like lip piercings. It just it's just a bit too much. I like, yeah. Well, yo, who cares what I like, bro?
She's polyamorous. She can date men or women. But it's interesting, despite having all of these connections, being open to any race and being extremely liberal, she has this problem.
The older I get, the more I realize that an ascetic lifestyle, aside from being one of the most potent ways to devote your life to honoring the holy mystery, it really just is logical. Like, participate in this tomfoolery? I think not.
Now, Willow Smith is saying that, hey, people don't ask her for dates anymore, or in general. And this is interesting because Willow Smith dates both men and women, so you're still not getting a date.
Damn!
But it's
interesting
because she should have all kind of access. I mean, look at her. She is very, very beautiful, very attractive. And she's still going through these issues. But what are those issues that women like Willow Smith could be facing?
The first reason is that if you are successful and accomplished, and when you're out and about, you're going somewhere, your energy can say to those around you, don't stop me, don't approach me. I'm a speeding bullet and I have somewhere to go. So it's simply not as easy for someone to gain your attention when you're in go mode.
That's very, I let me know that. That is very interesting. That's a very interesting take. Me personally, you guys, I've been single for the last 2 years. It's about to be 3 years. But the thing about me being single these last 3 years is I have been extremely focused on achieving my goals these last 3 years. And have I achieved? I've achieved a lot of significant goals, you know. Sometimes I do feel like that scares people away. Even like I feel like it even scares people from being friends with me because it's like this guy's too serious, you know. Like she just said, a speeding bullet, you know, that's trying to achieve their goals. Like it's like yeah, tunnel vision, you know. I don't even see you. So I feel like I understand where this woman is coming from, but at the same time, I would like to believe that people understand that people do this because like they want to be successful so that they can give them like themselves the best life they possibly can and probably give someone else the best life they can give them as well, you know. I find that like the thing about our generation, Gen Z, is a lot of us want to be perfect for whoever it is that we end up dating or whoever it is that we end up marrying. That's not always the case though. You don't have to be perfect to be in a relationship. In fact, you know, no one is perfect. Two imperfect people come together and they make it work. But I also feel like because we have social media and there's so much pressure, and also because like the economic climate of 2025 is insane, you know, it's hard to make money these days. People just want to be perfect. It's not a bad thing. People want to put their best foot forward. People want to put their best foot forward, and that is what it is. But in trying to put your best foot forward, you are limiting your chances of getting into a relationship while you're on that journey. You feel me?
Now, this lady is saying one of the reasons that a lot of successful women that are beautiful that they face is that you're always on the go, right? And I know that some women use it as a defense mechanism, but I never thought about it like that, but that's actually true. Any guy, have you ever seen you trying to talk to a female and she's walking hella fast, then you try to go talk to her and then all of a sudden she's gone, she hit the block or something, you never see her again, or she just look like she's just too busy. So if you were to catch up to her, you kind of got like run hella fast, you know, you kind of winded, you look like a stalker, and the risk is just not worth that reward at that point. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of how it is. You don't even want to waste your time trying to catch up to her. You just like, nah, just charge to the game. And this is what happens, I guess, if you're women like Willow Smith, you know, you're busy, you got things to do, you're always kind of on the go. And don't get me wrong, man, like if I saw Willow Smith the way she looked now, I'm not talking about like what she looked like 3 or 4 years ago. Or like when she was like, now she is, yes. You know what I mean? If I was a young dude and I saw her, yes, no doubt about it. She is bad, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine. I personally just I don't know like the lip piercing, bro. It just threw me off. It just throws me off. But is she fine? Yes, she's fine.
Say something to her. But if she moving hella fast, I'm not about to run my ass up there and try to get by because I look like a creep, right? But what else?
And the second reason is that some men are afraid to approach you, not because of anything that you've done, but because we live in a society and in an era where men have learned that it is not necessarily safe to approach strange women. We've gone through the entire COVID epidemic and the pandemic. We went through the Me Too experience. And so there are many men who want to get to know you, who want to approach you, and who want to say hi to you, but they aren't sure that you'll be receptive to them.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Sir.
That's another thing. Being receptive, bro. Being receptive. Like a lot of women, you know, like they said in the beginning, a lot of women are actually not nice. Quick story time. There was this one time I went to the club, you know, and I know like it might sound like I'm always going out, but hear me out. I went out to
Serves
the
the other
oops,
point.
sorry. I went out to the club and there was this one girl that, she was talking to me, we were chilling and she was like, "Oh, yo, are you interested in my friend?" And then she shows me her friend and I'm like, I mean, I'm like, "Oh yeah, she's okay, she's cool." And then she brings her friend over and her friend looks at me and she's like, "Ew, no, why would I want to be with him?" And in my mind, I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Why?" Like, even if you don't find me attractive, cool, all fine and dandy, why would you say that? Like, why? Like, you guys, this actually happened. She comes up to me with her friend, and she looked at me and she said, "Ew." And my man, I'm like, "Yo, who do you think you are to say that? Who do you think you are? Like, what?" So like, if that's like, if when women act like that, it just feels like, what's the point? Like what are we doing here? You know? Yo, if you've had any like encounters, drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys have experienced. I shared my L, you guys share your L's.
The brother was saying it's just difficult for a man feeling like he's about to get rejected. So why would he talk to you? Why would he try to get your number? And all of this. Okay, we've already talked about this point, which a lot of men are just don't want to deal with rejection or afraid of rejection. Okay, but then here's something that we got to talk about.
The older I get, the more I realize that an ascetic lifestyle, aside from being one of the most potent ways to devote your life to honoring the holy mystery, it really just is logical. Like, participate in this tomfoolery? I think not.
Boy, y'all sit your stupid ass down. Who the think you is?
Okay, Willow Smith said a whole bunch of nothing, right? Not making sense. Let me just say this, ladies. It's one thing to be fine. It's one thing to be beautiful. But if you're not relatable, nobody can deal with you. All right? And this is what I find out. A lot of women that have a hard time attracting men, either you don't talk enough in the conversation, so it's hard for us to build rapport. It's hard for us to laugh or
Yeah, like, more times than not, guys feel like they're carrying the conversation. And you guys, if you're talking to a girl, it's not necessarily on you. It's not on you that she can't hold a conversation. Like, girls don't have to try. you know like, girls don't have to try. Like, bro, like, this is not to sound some kind of way. Like, girls are literally the prey, and we're the predators. We're the ones going after them. If someone is going after you, why do you have to try and go after, why would a woman have to try and go after a man when men are constantly going after her? So they don't necessarily have to try. They just sit there, all fine and dandy, entertain the conversation. If they like you, they like you, and if they don't like you, then, well, it's raps. So, like, it's different when you don't have to try. But thing is, the older you get, you know as a woman, the more it's like, oh, I actually have to try to get the man I want. I actually have to put in efforts. I actually, and more times than not, a lot of women aren't used to doing that, and sometimes it can, they get shots in the leg. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm not saying, yes, that's great, women get shots no, I'm just saying, like, that's just what happens.
because you're just not really saying much or you're not replying much. Maybe you don't like the guy, or maybe that's just your personality. But then when you're saying something, it doesn't make any damn sense at all. So we look at you and classify you as being just completely weird. And again, I don't know if women think that they can turn men off, but you can. If you're so far out there that we can't vibe with you, especially if the dude is successful, he gonna think about like, yo man, shorty is weird as F. Like, what's going on with her? She talking about extraterrestrial stuff. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. Like, I don't even want to really clap because we can't. She's just, you know what I mean? She's just really weird and she's just not relatable. Being relatable as a woman is actually one of your biggest gifts. Don't get me wrong, man. Like, men, we like to talk to women. We like to hang out with women non-sexually, even if we are clapping, right? We do like that. So most of relationships.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Let me not lie, bro. Having a girl around makes everything better. Having girls around makes everything, like, even non-sexually. Even making this YouTube video, if I was reacting, with a girl right next to me right now, it makes the video way more interesting, way more intriguing, and yeah, like, having girls around is fun. I can't lie.
Are spent outside of the bedroom. So,
And that's why, like if you're not relatable, it's like, what are we doing? He just said majority of our time is spent outside of the bedroom, and it's true. As much as, like, guys look at women and it's like, oh, she's hot, she's sexy, I want to sleep with her. More times than not, we also want like companionship, and if, like, we can't talk and have cool conversations and vibe, then you're more or less a shitty companion. You feel me?
you're a woman that a man can't relate to, you might be able to get a date, but if you start talking weird on the first date or second date, and the guy has options, nobody wants to get past your weirdness, okay? Especially if you're a woman being unorthodox. It's one thing that a man has to put a lot of pressure in getting to know you, but if you're like weird, then that makes it worse. Especially if you're not really putting in the effort to get to know this guy, or you have weird, liberal ideology, or something that's just so far-fetched. You already live a polyamorous lifestyle. So that's one thing. I mean, it could be good or bad, but it's already difficult to try to resonate with you because you're just so different. All right. But if you are a lady and you're trying to get him in, what can you do?
The next time that you see an attractive man that you want to approach you, that you want to speak to, you say hi first. It sends a signal that it's safe to approach you. It lets him know that you're willing to slow down on your route for him. And it can break up some of the awkwardness or even some of the so-called intimidation that we think men feel when they see powerful women.
Yeah, like, that's another thing. Girls suck, like, most women suck at communication, bro. They suck. Like, I think that, and I don't see anything wrong with a woman coming to say, hi, how's it going? My name is blah 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 blah. What's your? I do not see anything wrong with that. Like, I have a friend right now. She told me that she likes one of my guys. She likes one of my boys, and I'm like, oh, who? And she's like, oh, I don't want to tell you. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. She told me that she's going to like his story, and that's her shooting her shot. What? She said her liking his Instagram story is as good as her saying, hi, I would like to talk to you. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. You actually have to go and be like, hi, hey, how's it going? My name is blah 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 blah. And if you get rejected, you get rejected. And the thing is, she's attractive. So the odds of her getting rejected are literally this slim. Yeah, girls, bro. As pretty and as beautiful as they are, the older you get and the more you start to, like, try and understand them, it becomes a very, very frustrating experience to, like, deal with a lot of women. Mind you, again, I love women, but sometimes
I really like this part from the lady. She said, listen, if you really want to be with a man, why don't you give choosing signals. Why don't you slow down? If you see a man is looking at you, trying to get your attention, why don't you do this? Let's just talk about this. Some women do give men choosing signals. Men sometimes miss them because they're shy or they don't have enough experience, and I understand that too. But what is wrong with you saying hi? Like, hey, how are you? Like, what's wrong with you breaking the ice? I mean, if I see a lady that I want to be with and she is attractive, yeah, I'm gonna do my very best to break that ice if I can, because that's what I'm trying to do, right? Like, and women gotta understand that what's going on in society today, men have been tamed a little bit, okay? Like, let me give you an example. Fast forward. I live in a housing development, and my neighbor across the hall has a cat. And the cat, like, just would run into my house, all right? So I had a sandal. I would just threaten to hit the cat with the sandal. It would keep running. And over time, what it did, it just stopped trying to come into the house, okay? So it would stay by the door, but it would never come back in the house for fear I was gonna flinch the sandal and hit him, right? It's actually a girl, hit her. So what happens is now the cat wants to come into my house, but it's cautious. And so it's the same thing with some of these men. They want to talk to you, but they don't want to be made fun of, get hit with a Me Too thing or all of this. So what needs to happen at this particular point is that, hey, you have guys that are interested, but you're going to have to make a little bit of effort now, because those men may want to talk to you and may want to do something with you. But if you don't foster that environment for that man to say something to you, it could not happen. I mean, this is now 2025. It's not 2005. It's not 1995.
This is facts. This is facts.
Men are very okay with seeing a woman that's very, very beautiful, that's looking very good, and be like, nah, I'll let her go. She was going to be expensive anyway. She was going to be terrible anyway. And just kind of leave it at that and just go.
I recently made a friend. She subscribed to my YouTube channel, so she might see this video. Maybe she won't, but I need to tell the story. I met her at an event, and we spent time together. She got down from her Uber and she saw me sitting down on a bench, and she was like, "Hey, is it cool if I hang out with you?" And I said, "Yeah, for sure. You can chill with me for sure." We chilled for the entirety of the event, and mind you, like, she's beautiful, attractive, young woman, a 10 out of 10 to me. She's a 10 out of 10 to me. But anyways, I didn't ask for her number. I didn't ask for her snap. I didn't ask for nothing. Because in my mind, I'm like, I already know how this kind of goes, Like, yeah, sure, we spend time together, but then it means, you chilling with a girl, it means nothing. She ended up texting me on TikTok. She found my TikTok, she said, "Hey, hi, how you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. We spoke. And, ever since then, like, we talk almost every single day, and we're very comfortable with each other. Had she not set the tone, for that, we wouldn't be talking. So, like, with girls, like, it just has to be a situation where, like, they create the environment for the guy to feel comfortable going to talk to them. Because we as guys, we don't feel comfortable, because with us, it's like, especially the older you get, it's like, because you start to build yourself, you start to, the older you get, the more shit you're going to have to, to consider. Because you have things to lose now. You feel me? So, like, it then becomes a situation of, like, am I going to give up everything I've worked hard to get because of this girl? Or, am I just going to be like, oh, she's fine, and just keep it pushing? Most times I know guys are just going to keep it pushing.
Now, some women will sit around and say, well, you know what? I don't feel like I need to go ahead and say something to a man. He should say something to me. And I get it. But sometimes you have to foster that environment for a man to know that it's okay. And this is why a lot of guys talk about choosing signals. You know, if a woman wants to talk to you, because so many men are not okay with cold approaching. I'm okay with cold approaching, but so many men are not. And with cold approaching, you may not know if the woman is interested, you know, if she has a resting B phase or whatever, and if she's gonna let you overcome an objection. You just don't know. And a lot of times you can get a chick who she looks like she's not interested, and you get a number and she is interested because you did go ahead and say something. But you know, hey, guys are gonna be a little bit more timid in today's environment because they have been trained to not lean on their masculine energy, because it's now called toxic masculinity. So you're going to need to go out there and make that situation for you. And if you're Willow Smith and you're open to anything, like, why don't you just talk? Tell somebody hello. And if you do tell somebody hello, I'm almost sure that somebody is going to be like, hello back. Like, what you look like is fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at her, bro. She's very, 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 very fine in this picture, to me. You know, like, to majority of men, if a girl that looks like this came up to them to come and talk to them, it's easy, you know. But girls, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I guess it's also an insecurity thing with them, you know. Like, they're insecure as well. They're insecure as well. But the thing about being a man is, you know, being a man is just, you know, fuck your insecurities. Go out there and make shit happen.
Will Smith is now, yes, most dudes that got money or whatever, like, look, they're gonna want to holler. She might not have like a big old gigantic, you know what, booty, whatever, but she is a very beautiful young lady. You can't tell me that dudes wouldn't want to deal with her. Now, again, she is what I would consider to be very unorthodox. But man, that don't mean nothing, man. Like, dudes are going to holler. It is what it is. So guys, what do you think you should put O'Shea D. Jackson back at it again? Another episode.
Yeah, and you guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this video. Let me know if you guys have had any negative experiences. You guys, with me personally and approaching women, I will approach, you know, if I see, you know, some signals. Sometimes I might cold approach, you know, just because I do understand that you only live once. But then ideally, I know I prefer it when a girl sets the tone and everything is comfortable, you know. In my experience, the times girls let me first was when me and her both had, you know, the best experiences. But, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm coming through with videos every single day.